With you being a financial planner now, do you feel like you handled your money well in the NFL and did well with that?
Well, my journey began because I was unprepared, and my first check I mismanaged. My first check I spent immediately, and so that kind of woke me to the reality that I would need to educate myself and need to learn more about money. From that, and as my education grew, I absolutely began to see the dream of walking out of the NFL with something to show for it. And so my actions, my behaviors, my routines started to lead me towards managing it better. So it began rocky, but I was one of the fortunate ones to see the light early. Getting cut will also do that to you. And so that's kind of where my mission began. Was I saw how unprepared I was as an accounting major, and I knew most of the guys wouldn't be able to handle or answer these questions either. And so truly in the locker rooms, I began to have conversations and help guys even while I was playing.
I'm sure there's a good number of people that may realize they're misspending their money or doing something wrong, but how did you go about actually fixing it while you were in the NFL?
Focusing on my reward, focusing on what my goals were, and then dialing back to daily decisions. I talk to guys a lot about making, money is lazy and you got to put it to work. And so looking at money as my employee, I started to ask myself, well, where do I want it to go to work for me? And then it's just a prioritization of what I wanted to approach and attack first. You hear that common adage of pay yourself first. That is simply saying, the future me, the person beyond the game, beyond the field, is someone I want to take care of. And once you are able to have your personal philosophies aligned and really understanding, whether that's how much money I want to give my future self, how much money I want to give my family, how much money I want to give to my debts, how much money I want to go and enjoy today with, those philosophies really dictate how you set up your cash management. And once you have an understanding of your personal philosophy, how you spend and employ your dollars kind of reflects that.
Well, for you, being familiar with the business side or the harsh reality of the NFL sometimes, where you have your highlights like you did with your years in New Orleans, but also being cut. So how do you relay that now going into your career as a financial planner? How do you relay that with you knowing the NFL so well, having played in it so long, and using that credibility to help the players?
It's one of my favorite questions as I stand in front of a room of professional athletes is, how many times do you think I was cut? And it ended up being about 13 times, getting a call told my dream was over, because some of the teams I was on cut me multiple times. So it is credibility. It is validation. People see that I'm not after them for coolness factor. I'm not after them to profit. I'm no longer an advisor because I want to educate and empower without kind of any upside or any conflicts. And I think as athletes really understand, there is an opportunity before them, but it's one that they have to seize and they have to capture. They begin to look for resources. And as a former student athlete, a former professional athlete, I get to provide the perspective of I know what it's like. I do not know individual circumstances. Everyone's journey is unique, but I know what the temptations are. I know what the opportunity is. And ultimately, even a no-name undrafted guy who got cut a dozen times, I know how to capture the dream. And that is through empowering yourself, and it is through choosing to be very intentional with what the opportunity is in front of you.